In Africa, dual figures are quite often seen in ritual sculpture. They represent universal ambivalences like good and evil, past and future, male and female. Double characters also appear on more day-to-day objects like hair ornaments. In this exhibition, Facing Me, Facing You, Creative Museum offers you a general view of this topic so you can appreciate its varied forms and discover its meanings. The most stunning dual shape is called a Janus head. Janus was a Roman god who had two opposite faces for a single head, and he was the guardian of the doors, symbolizing the past and the future. This Songi hairbrush from Congo is a good example. As you can see, it has two identical faces turned in opposing directions, but making one single head. This two-headed comb has as much symbolic meaning in Africa as it did in ancient Roman times. Generally, it evokes the primordial being, not yet definite, but with a double personality, as it emerges from the watery swamps to then evolve into different species. Both heads are fused in a single hairstyle. In this comb, the empty square represents the origins of the human race. Here it is symbolized by an S motif. This S sign could also represent infinity, which has a similar double figure shape. In this case, the two faces are only evident when the comb is seen in profile. Among the Senufo in the Ivory Coast, a large carved comb such as this example, with its indented sides and geometric designs, represents the origins of mankind. The two heads that surmount this comb emerge from dynamic and symmetrical vertical lines. Here is another Senufo version of the same design. This comb can be dated from the 70s or 80s, like most of the hair combs displayed in this exhibition. The two unjoined heads produce the same sensation, that of a sudden emergence. The beauty and the strength of the facial expression in this carving are remarkable. Here, this two-headed comb from Mali is similar in format, and its graphic detail is very interesting. The heads are attached only at their tops, yet the African skills for stylization are evident. This Chokwe comb from the Congo differs in that the two heads are back-to-back yet apart, thus alluding to past and future, as did the Janus god. In this comb from the Lega people of the Congo, the meaning here is obscure. The two superimposed masks may represent generational progression or allude to a greater sensual insight. The two heads are directly linked to the legs through a small and ill-defined pelvis. On this comb from the Akan people of Ghana, two Akwaba dolls, one above the other, represent their traditional fertility worship in all its diverse senses. The Akan combs are often used to figure motherhood and fertility, a fundamental concept linked to prosperity. The sculpture of this modern ivory comb from the Kasai region of northern Angola has played skillfully with the concave and convex qualities of an elephant's tusk. He has produced such an ambiguity of shapes that it is hard to say where the front, back, and profile begin and end. Here, the front and the profile are on the same plane.
Par exemple, ce cliché offre au regard un profil et une face sur un même plan.
From every viewing aspect, the sculptural details are remarkable. Let's now discover a range of Janus head combs depicting both male and female features. The male aspect is obvious here, with its larger head and short goatee beard. The female face is identical but much smaller, with the same marking on the forehead. The fact that they are both represented as one head makes them appear as the original founders of their clan. A similar double head is seen again on this huge and impressive comb from West Africa, measuring nearly 18 inches, 45 centimeters. The sexual differences appear more obvious by the differing hairstyles. The woman's hair is dressed high up on the head, whereas the man's is plaited stylistically and in a more practical style. The Baoulé people of the Ivory Coast also belong to the Akan group. The carvers frequently depict ancestral figures within an arch-like structure. The use of ivory, a prestigious material and much rarer than wood, adds importance and value to the item. These two Baoulé ancestral figures, superbly carved, surmount separate but complementary combs. The elaborate hairstyles and proud bearing of these figures, perched on regal-like stools, testify to their royal status. The man is holding his long and braided beard, which in Africa signifies wisdom even more than age. The female is holding a baby in her arms, a sign of her fertility and of a large family to come. On the combs themselves, ancestral faces carved in relief illustrate the importance of lineage within the family. The Dogon group in Mali represents their ancestors in a similar way. This comb, of exceptional quality, is a stunning 19 inches or 48 centimeters high. The two characters are sitting on royal seats, and the man's strong arm closely embraces his wife in a protective gesture. Among the Chokwe from the southern Congo area, the link between husband and wife on this comb may seem less obvious, as they sit side by side with equal importance. The woman is holding her breast to symbolize the importance of the female as a source of nourishment. Also from the Congo, here, two Chokwe figures ride astride the comb. This interesting position shows them as partners approaching the future together, the man leading the way. Their heads show similar facial features and similar traditional hairstyles. The man has a small but distinctive beard and a rather haughty expression. The exquisite patina of the reddish wood enhances the characteristics of the comb. One might almost wonder if these two people were modelled on a real-life couple. Whatever the answer, the result is remarkable. This Adan comb from Ghana has a completely different style. The scene is less dynamic because the characters are back to back. The combination of curves and angles used by the carver produces sensuality and interest, the Z shape of the legs being particularly evocative. The magnificent quality of this comb is enhanced by the conical hairstyles, the heart-shaped faces, and the refined figures carved in a blonde wood embellished with brass nails. The woman is identified by her ringed neck and a kind of pom-pom on the top of her head. Her prominent breasts display her femininity. In Africa, twins often have an ambiguous status. They may be cherished or rejected, and some communities fear they bring evil to their village. For others, twins are believed to have powers such as second sight, wisdom, and omniscience. Among some ethnic groups, twins are believed to have a single soul. This Chokwe comb probably represents twin figures. They are quite similar, and their stylized arms and legs are carved with a perfect symmetry. The same can be said for these Chokwe twins, sitting side by side in a thoughtful position. The smooth curves of their heads and bodies are in contrast to geometric angles which decorate the comb itself. Until now, the double figures we have seen were archetypes and represented something abstract like the primary being, a pair of ancestors, or twins. But modern Africa is now starting to express more human feelings through daily scenes. For example, these two Baoulé women are working at the same mortar and pestle, showing an image of friendship and cohesion. Another scene of complicity. This young girl, also Baoulé, is plaiting the hair of a sister or a friend. In a kindly gesture, a man is helping a woman to lift her jug of water onto her head. In the past, these kinds of relationships existed in daily life, but they were scarcely ever shown through sculptures. This comb, recently carved by a Baoulé artist from the Ivory Coast, illustrates this evolution. The expression of human feelings, such as love or the relationship between a man and a woman, are portrayed more and more through contemporary objects. Ancestral figures in carvings are slowly but surely being cast aside in order to feature figures of love. Here, the gesture of his arms shows the feelings the man has for the woman. In a less obvious way, this Janiform comb, with specific features and personal hairstyles, seems to personify a real couple. It may have been carved and offered to a special woman, featured on the comb, as a love token. This comb from Ghana, in honey-coloured wood and with a nice patina, is a long way from representing any ancestors. The couple is wearing numerous tiny beaded necklaces for decoration. The two characters do not evoke fertility here, but simply the love between a man and a woman. The tenderness of the gesture of their arms shows this very clearly. This exhibition is ending with a Hemba comb from Congo. It's emblematic of the changes taking place nowadays in African sculpture. Western cultures value the individual more than the group, and like to show love between a man and a woman. This influence is noticeable here. The mystic air surrounding most ancient sculptures, including combs, has disappeared. Instead, we see a more human and emotional meaning, as in this highly refined hairstyle. Made in around the year 2000, this comb may have been carved to please young Western people. However, if we look at the way in which the feet are placed symmetrically, we can see an imagination and capacity for stylization inherent only to African cultures. The beautiful design of all these figures, their gestures, the way they stand, all come from a profound sensitivity and soul. So, African combs carry several meanings. They can embody cultural symbols as well as personal messages, and combine tradition with modernity.